I actually can't believe it, but it's finally time to start putting the chain plates onto my 42-foot catamaran, which you probably already know was left in an anchorage for 10 years, left to rot, and I can't even believe that I thought that I could get the boat sailing last year, because it's just been a tremendous amount of work for an amateur like me. Last week I was clearing out and strengthening all these parts of the cabin tops, because that's where most of the loads of the mast will be, and yeah, this week we're installing chain plates. We're going to get started with the inner forestay, which we started last week, and then crack on with this stuff. Enjoy the video. So I've got 2 long planks of hardwood. It's Meranti hardwood. The slimmer plank I'm going to use for the backing plates for this inner forestay bridle, and then the wider plank will be the shroud backing plates. So a really nice strong thick hardwood. The U-bolt for the forestay bridle needs to be at 62 degrees. So I've just been measuring, and as you can see I've got like 3 different lines from going back, measuring twice. I've really got quite a large gap there. It's not just because this filling bit is a bit lower, but the curve in the boat, so I can push it down most of the way, but yeah, interesting. Just got a line here, so I need to take this material off so that it fits in. I think the problem is I'm using a much thicker backing plate than what's prescribed, so it doesn't bend as much. I've got this piece now fitting with a very tiny gap. I need to put this U-bolt in, so I'm going to stick this plate on just with this cheap double-sided tape. I'll give it a try, and then I can measure up the holes and drill through. I really hate doing this work. It's so scary because you don't want to mess it up, but taking it slowly, and yeah, I'll do everything dry fit. I'll drill through, epoxy in the holes, and yeah, maybe a bit of epoxy under here, and then screw it through the stringers, which I've marked out. A bit of a rock, maybe I'll plane that down a bit more. That's the center. Whew. Don't like this work. This flipping is rubbish, this drill thing. It's not smooth. Be smooth! I'll just neaten up the edges with the router so it looks less brutalist.
Alright, so I'm pretty happy with it. There is epoxy coming out of both ends, so it's fully stuck on there. I've not put any like Sikaflex or sealant on the other side. I've just put a little bit of epoxy on there, and with filler I'm not sure if that's going to really seal it, but we'll see. I can always take that out. It might be a bit difficult now there's epoxy there. I could always take that out and rebed it. But yeah, it's all in position. Feels really solid. Because it's so hot today, my epoxy for pre-coating has set, so I'll just mix up another batch, epoxy coat this. And it's a kind of shame that I didn't paint this before, but I don't think it really matters too much. But yeah, functionally it's all there. Stainless screws screwed into the stringers as prescribed on the plans, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. I've done both of them. This is the second one that I did. Yeah, happy with it. So I ordered some 8mm 316 stainless steel. These are going to be my intermediate shroud chain plates, which will go on the outside. I've just rounded them off nicely. And also the price of this 316, a meter costs me about €100. So I actually got 3 meters in total, so I have a little bit extra for extra bits and bobs. But yeah, nice to have 316. Anyway, I need to drill the holes, and these are going to be at different angles towards the mast, and I really need to work out how I'm going to do it. Meanwhile, I've been working on these big right angle chain plate backing plates, which I think in hindsight are really quite ugly. Obviously this fits up here. It's quite ugly, but I think I'm just going to still roll with it. Definitely on this side, because this is where most of the rot was. On the other side it's pretty good. This fits up here, but there is a fillet here, so it doesn't fit against there, which a few people noticed. However, the idea was always to put a little bit of an extra backing plate here. It was so difficult to get a proper right angle when welding, because when you weld the corners it sort of comes in on itself. So to fill the gap, I've actually quite nicely, if I do say so myself, planed a piece of plywood which fits perfectly. I'm so happy with the way it's turned out. I sort of did it as a trial because I didn't film it because it could have turned out bad. Anyway, this little plate with a routed edge fits in snugly against the fillet, and that fits up there. Oh, it's really heavy. That fits up there really nicely. Oh. And another backing plate for this side as well. That's what I'm working on. I am finding this work like really scary, and I'm trying to take my time over it. I am taking my time, and because this is all related to whether my mast is going to be okay when I put it on, I really need to get it right. So, but it is scary, like drilling holes through the hull, and yeah, it's not nice. But you gotta do it. You gotta really think about it. You gotta also just have the balls to just flipping go for it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So to put the backing plate on, I need to take this off, which I stuck on with this VHB tape, which is super sticky. It's the same stuff that I stuck my windows on with, and it's really, really incredibly well stuck, which is reassuring. This is just a dry fit at the moment. Happy with the way it's turned out. There's very few gaps, if any. It looks this is very brutalist. Very brutalist. The really tricky part now is attaching this chain plate on the outside. I need to get it just right. I need to get the holes just right, and working out exactly where it's going to be. Looking at the other side is very difficult, so I've had to draw up some measurements, but there is also another annoying problem as well. By my calculations, this is exactly where this chain plate should be, but there's a little groove on the top of the cabin tops. This chain plate is sitting at a slight angle. I was thinking I could just fill this area with epoxy, but when I come to clamp the backing plate and the chain plate together, there will be an angle discrepancy. Also, the holes at the top of the chain plate are right on that groove. These chain plates came with the boat, and these are where the holes were drilled, so I'm wondering whether, I can't really move the whole thing down, I'm wondering whether to just put 2 new holes a little bit lower down, and then I would just have 2 open holes, which would look a bit ugly, but yeah, I'm not really satisfied with the way that will clamp down, and I would just use a 4mm ply spacer to lift the whole chain plate away from the annoying notch. It looks like I'm gonna have to roll with the holes that I have on the chain plate, because I'm supposed to bolt through the top stringer, which is directly in the middle of that ridge on that on the top of the cabin top. So I'm just going to spot through, drill through, and then I'm going to have to work out a way of sort of smoothing that area and making sure it's all good. I think that's what I'm going to do. I've just done those 4 bottom holes, not done the top ones yet. I think I'm going to drill through the cabin tops and see how this is. Well, I can't believe that I'm doing this. Alright folks, we're in business here. I got off the phone to Hanneke, and she said everything that I was doing was good, and it looks incredibly strong, and there shouldn't be any problems with it. So with the annoying notch, I should just put a piece of plywood there. The only thing I need to do now is I need to, obviously, because I only did the bottom ones, I just need to drill everything through, and then to bed all this in, obviously I'll epoxy coat this plywood, which is an exterior grade plywood anyway, but I'll epoxy coat it, and then it'll all be bedded down with a big nice Sikaflex sandwich. I'm so happy that the first chain plate is set up, and Hanneke's response was really positive as always. It's always so nice talking to her. Yeah, Hanneke was the one who co-designed these boats with James Warham, the legend James Warham, and she did the drawings for them, so she knows what she's doing. So yeah, I'll just get all this all sorted and lined up and prepared, and yeah, really happy. Okay, we're good. It's always a pain getting to the inside of the holes to epoxy coat. Hanneke has suggested using a cotton bud, because when you use a brush, the bristles just splay out and it's not good. This is actually a really good tip, because the epoxy really gets covered. It really loads up well. My engine's now running so well. And because I don't have the car anymore, it's a bit of a pain to get stuff, but there's a marine shop which I can access by dinghy. I just want to get all the bits just to finish this chain plate off, and then I'll probably just order the right size bolts online because it'll be cheaper, but I can go to this marine store, and there's also a supermarket in walking distance, so I'm going to get some bolts, Sikaflex, look at Dyneema and stuff as well. No matter how big your boat is, you can always find cheap mooring. I'm guessing it's cheap to keep the boat here, even though it's absolutely huge. I've got all my stuff, but yeah, to get here, you have to come along a very long stretch of quite a busy canal with a lot of tankers, cruise ships which pass by, and to get back to the boatyard you have to always keep on the right, so I have to cross over now when I come out here and then cross over again. It's always a little bit scary, but you've just got to let the big boys go and then find your little opening behind, but it's always entertaining, and it's always scary crossing the actual canal, especially when your engine's had problems over the time that you've had it. But I do have my emergency paddle here, so should be alright, because the oars don't work on this one. So we've got a police boat up ahead. I'm going to keep back a little bit, just because a lot of people have said my dinghy may go a little bit too fast, so I should have a registration on it. But it really doesn't go that fast. I measured it at 12 knots yesterday. Apart from that, it's okay, I think. Got a lot of ships coming past and a lot of swell, so I'm just circling around in the margins, waiting for a clear exit, a clear crossing. Okay, so we'll go just after this big one, and there's another one coming on the back side of it. We should just miss that. Now we go across again. be putting too much on. I'm going to need an assistant to hold these on. My assistant's over there, it's Peter with the other Warham. Yeah, he's just going to hold this side with a spanner, and then I'll tighten it down as much as possible, and hopefully I'll get sticker flicks coming out of every side. Out of all of the chain plates, this is probably the most difficult one, so yeah, I'm so happy. It feels like a bit of a turning point, to be honest. I have 5 more chain plates to do and they should be easier. Still a lot of work to do to get the mast up, that being sort of the dynamo rigging. I also need to wire up the mast. It's really important that I have lights that work on the mast. Obviously night sailing is going to be a regular occurrence eventually. I need winches, I need to do running rigging, work out how all that's going to go. But yeah, it's getting there. It's getting to that slightly sailing condition. I'm really happy with this. It really does feel like a turning point. Thanks so much for watching, for liking this video. If you're not subscribed, then please subscribe. Thanks for all your comments, especially last week when I was talking about things being a bit boring. You guys reassured me massively, so thank you so much. But yeah, the fact that I'm able to do this as a job, I'm able to get my boat, my dream boat, sailing and make these videos. I really have to pinch myself sometimes because I'm so lucky, and that's thanks to you guys, especially you guys who go to my PayPal, Patreon, my super thanks through YouTube. I appreciate you guys so much. It enables me to live this life, so thank you so much. The weather is going to be nice, I think, for the upcoming week, so it makes sense to just continue with chain plates while it's so dry and warm, and it's amazing. So nice not to be complaining about weather for a change. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and see you next week. Bye bye.